Hi guys, welcome back to your Heroclix headquarters. So it's the first Monday of the month and that means it's time for Meta Monday. But if you guys are a fan of the channel or Meta Monday, then you might notice that I'm missing my co-host Spencer. It was just the 4th of July weekend, so both of our schedules were pretty busy. We both really wanted to get together and do it, but it just wasn't working out. So we're going to save our normal meta discussion, Meta Monday video for a week or two down the line. And I thought today, to give you guys some Meta Monday goodness, I would do something a little bit different and actually show you guys a team build I've been working on that's got, I think, some pretty good meta potential. It's pretty crazy. It's not the kind of team I would ever bring to any type of local event. So it is, of course, designed more for a bigger, more competitive event. And apologies to anybody else if they've already used this team in a big event. I can't keep track of every single event ever or team that's ever played, so somebody might have thought of it first, and if you did, then props to you. And the team, it does have one big weakness, but I'll talk about that at the end. But without further ado, let's check out the team. Alright guys, so to start us off, we're going to be using the common Dr. Fate from the new JLU set, but not just one. We're going to be playing 5 Dr. Fates. Now the reason for this, if you guys don't know what he does, we'll take a quick look here. So he's got a trait, duplicates of myself from throughout time and space. During forced construction, you may only add Dr. Fate for 10 points if you also have a Dr. Fate starting at 65 points on your starting force. For all characters with this trait, if you have 2 to 4 characters named Dr. Fate on your force, action total +1, and if you have 5 or more such characters, action total +2. So we're going to be playing 5 of them just to get that +2 to our action total, and because we're going to want to have a big theme team bonus for this. This is going to be a mystical theme team, but he also does have the Justice League Unlimited trait, which is at the beginning of your turn, roll a d6. On a 6, remove an action token from another friendly character with the Justice League keyword that's 100 points or less. So you're going to have 5 rolls of that. That's 5 chances to get a 6 to remove an action token from one of your other Dr. Fates, just to help your action economy out a little bit. So then adding on to that, we're going to bring in Colossus at his 25-point line. This is one of my favorite characters out of the X-Men animated set. He's pretty awesome to look at. So let's check out what he can do. He's got improved movement, ignores and destroys blocking terrain. He's got a trait, flying debris. When Colossus uses charge, after resolutions deal 1 penetrating damage to each opposing character that's adjacent to 1 or more debris markers he created this turn. So that's one of the main reasons we're going to want a big theme team, because we're going to try to get a map with a lot of blocking terrain so that he can charge through and just get that free penetrating damage off on some people. And now he does also have Colossal Retaliation, is free if no friendly character has been placed this turn. Choose an opposing character that attacked Colossus or damaged a friendly character since your last turn. If that character is within the same row or column as Colossus, place Colossus adjacent to that character and make a close attack targeting all characters in the rows or columns between where Colossus began this action and his current square, regardless of adjacency. Hit characters are each dealt 2 penetrating damage instead of normal damage. So what that basically means is that he can just ram through your opponent's whole team if you can position him correctly, doing 2 penetrating damage to each of them. And like I said, we're going to be playing him over here at his 25-point line. So he's only going to have that 1 click of life with the 7 movement charge, 11 attack quake, 18 with impervious and indomitable, and a 3 damage with that Colossal Retaliation special and giant size. So it is nice that he has giant size for that charge and quake combo. And having an 18 impervious will keep him pretty well defended for just 25 points. He's going to die in 1 hit anyway, but at least you have some chance of surviving an attack. Alright, so another reason we're going to want a map with a lot of blocking terrain is because we're going to bring in another Colossal Retaliator with Tri-Sentinel on his 30-point line. This guy is super awesome with all his extra arms, shooting lasers, and everything else that he's got going on. But we're not going to play just one of him, we're actually going to play 2 of him. So we're going to have 2 chances at his Colossal Retaliation. I would play multiples of Colossus if he wasn't actually a prime, but Tri-Sentinel will get the job done just as well, if not better. So we'll take a look at what he can do. He also has improved movement, destroys blocking terrain. He's got a trait that gives him energy shield deflection, and he has protected mind control. And when he is dealt penetrating damage by an opposing character after resolutions heal at 1 click, that part's not really going to matter because he's just a retaliator with 1 click of life. But traded ESD is awesome and protection from mind control. And then he's got a special on his movement, which gives him plasticity and sidestep. And when Tri-Sentinel destroys 1 or more pieces of blocking terrain after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to each opposing character that was adjacent to 1 or more destroyed pieces. So again, just moving through blocking terrain or shooting it down. He does have a pretty crazy 9 range with triple target there. And there's his stats that you can see on that last click with the 30-point line. He's got the 8 movement, 10 attack, 18 defense, and 3 damage. Now he does have Colossal Indifference there, which gives him stop toughness. And if he began the game on the 30-point line, he can't attack smaller characters except via Colossal Retaliation. But like I said, you just shoot out some walls or run through some walls and you can get that free penetrating damage off. So again, that's why we want a big theme team bonus for lots of blocking terrain. And then of course he's got the Colossal Retaliation over here, which gives them free. If no other Colossal Retaliation power has been activated this turn, choose an opposing character that attacked Tri-Sentinel or damaged a friendly character since your last turn. Place Tri-Sentinel such that he can target the chosen character using Pulse Wave at no cost, then do so. After resolutions, destroy all blocking terrain within 3 squares. So with that 9 range, he's going to have a 5 range Pulse Wave all around his 2x2 base, which is going to be insane. It's potential to do a lot of damage, especially afterwards. He's going to destroy every square blocking within 3 squares of him, so that's going to deal that extra penetrating damage potentially. And since that's a free placement, you're then going to be able to move or shoot as a costed action if you wanted to get some more penetrating damage on somebody else. So that's why we're going to play 2 of him, because after one gets a Colossal Retail off, we're going to want a second one on standby in case the first one gets shot down. It may also be important to note that with the Tri-Sentinel Retaliation, they can't use Retaliation just if nobody else has used Retaliation this turn. But with Colossus's Retaliation, he can't use it if anybody has been placed this turn. So be careful if you want to set up his Retaliation not to use Dr. Fate's Telekinesis or not to carry anybody in the same turn, as both of those are placements and would stop him from being able to retaliate. Now moving on, we do have one more big character here that I want to show you guys. It's the Windigo, of course, 15-point beast. And we can't play just one Windigo. No, we have to play 2, 3, 4 Wendigos because he is just so insane for only 15 points a piece. So if you don't already know what Windigo does, he does a lot, so we'll take a look at him. His first trait gives him sidestep, but only if an opposing character has a wounded token. And when an opposing character takes damage from an attack, you may give that character a wounded token if they don't have one. When a character heals, remove all wounded tokens. And then he has another trait which gives him colossal stamina and steel energy, and when Windigo uses steel energy, he may heal past his starting line, which is of course why we're going to just cram in as many 15-point Windigos as we can, because hopefully he's going to be able to steal energy a bunch of extra clicks of life, and you don't really need to worry about the fact that he starts with just one. And he has a movement power which gives him charge and flurry, and when he ends his movement after resolutions, he may make a close attack, but only to target a character with a wounded token. Now the crazy part about this is he's already going to get 2 attacks from charge flurry, and then whenever he ends his movement, he gets to make a close attack on anyone with a wounded token. So that means you can actually use that after he charges to get a 3rd attack. And then you can combo that with the free action to use sidestep to then make a 4th attack. So the reason these guys are so insane is because for only 15 points, they have the potential to attack 4 times in a turn and heal past their starting line, which is extra ridiculous because their special defense power is stop, and invulnerability, and if no opposing character has a wounded token, do not stop turning the dial due to stop. Which is fine. He does start with that charge flurry and that stop click there with an 11 attack, some exploit weakness, indomitable and giant reach, and the colossal stamina. So they're just going to keep going until your whole team is dead. They have that potential to heal all the way up there. Unlikely in any normal game, but even if you just heal a couple of clicks, then they have to smack you back onto your stop click, and then you have the potential to do it all over again with a colossal push. So they have insane damage output if they can get close enough to your opponent's team. So now, if you guys have been counting along, we actually have 50 points left. So there's a lot you could do, actually. If you really wanted to, you could play 5 more 10-point Dr. Fates. You could play maybe 3 more Wendigos, another Tri-Sentinel, and a couple of Dr. Fates. You could combo extra things in here if you wanted to. But I like having one good figure that gives us some Perplex and Prob support. So I'm going to be using Raven from Rebirth on her 50-point line. So we'll take a quick look at what she does. She has the Titans Reborn trait, which basically after she's given a move action, she can use the Titans team ability at no cost, which isn't really going to matter. Nobody else has that team ability on this team. But she does also have a special in her movement that gives her phase, teleport, and stealth with a passenger 3, but only to carry characters that share a keyword with her, regardless of flight. And then on her damage, she has perplex, probability control, and support. So she's mainly going to be here on her 50-point line there, the blue line. She's going to have perplex and prob to help out the team. She's going to have that 11 attack penetrating blast, which is going to make use of the Dr. Fates. I don't think I showed the back of his card earlier. He does start with enhancement, and the 10-point lines will all start with enhancement as well, with some phase, teleport, and TK there. So that combos well with her ability to carry characters that she shares a keyword with, regardless of flight. She'll be able to carry at least 3 Dr. Fates, so she's going to have 3 enhancements on her, meaning she'll be able to do a 4 damage penetrating blast if anybody dares get close enough. And she's going to be pretty well protected from stealth. She does only have 4 clicks of life, but she has stealth the whole dial. She's got some steel energy and regen on the back half, so she'll be able to heal up a little bit if necessary. And then she does have some outwit if she gets knocked off her perplex and prob control, which is also going to be able to help out the team. So I just really like these. They make a good combo. They all have the Mystics team ability there, so you're going to have 6 little Mystics characters for your opponent to try to chew through, taking tons of Mystics damage in return. So now the main strategy of this team is we've got a plus 13 to map roll right now. So that's going to help us pick a map, like I said, with a ton of blocking terrain. We're going to be able to move Raven up with 3 of the Dr. Fates, and then move a few up behind them as well. So you're going to want to get them out front into position. They're going to be your first line, just kind of shooting anything down. All the Dr. Fates enhancing each other up to a 6 damage, enhancing Raven up to a 5 penetrating damage with an 11 attack. So you're actually going to want to bait your opponent in to try to knock them all out. You know, since you're keeping them all grouped up, your opponent might think, hey, maybe I can get a big charge quake in here, or maybe they're going to try to get a big energy explosion off. That's what you want. You want them to be afraid enough of them to attack them. So they're going to take some Mystics damage, and then you're going to trigger the Colossal Retail. So you're going to want a Colossal Retail with one of these big Tri-Sentinel guys, get a huge Pulse Wave off, hopefully destroy some blocking and get some free penetrating damage in addition to that. So if that goes off well enough, you're going to have a lot of opposing characters with wounded tokens, meaning these Wendigos can really start popping off. They could just full move in to get a free attack on somebody and then sidestep to get another attack. Now the map I'm playing on here, I just brought this out. It does have a lot of blocking terrain over here. This is the Necropolis outdoor and indoor map. So it's got a lot of blocking terrain here in the middle. There's lots of big squares of it all throughout. So it's a pretty decent map for the team. Not really the best map. If you have any of the Ancient Hold or the King's Tomb or one of those cool prize maps that have tons of blocking and is all indoor, that's going to be preferable. This is half indoor, half outdoor. but I just kind of grabbed a map that had a lot of blocking terrain on it to show you guys. But if you are going to use a map like this, you know, setting up all your Raven and your Dr. Fates where they have a clear line of fire down, you know, one of these hallways here, so that when your opponent has to make a hard decision, that if they do try to run up through here, they're going to get shot at. You know, you can also position your Colossus, you know, on the other side of a wall there, so that if they maybe try to creep around the side of the wall to avoid being shot down before they can charge on you, you can actually have Colossus charge through the wall and get some, you know, free penetrating damage off from the charge. And then maybe you position your other Tri-Sentinel behind another wall. So if they try to go that way, you know, once again, he can just move through the wall, get the free penetrating damage off. And then, you know, maybe shoot out another square blocking terrain over there that hurts more characters on their team. Really just the strategy here is that these guys are going to be able to basically just move and get you free damage on your opponent. Then you have a lot of cheap Mystics characters to get free damage on your opponent. In addition to the fact that all these Dr. Fates have enhancement, so that's going to be enhancing all of your little firing squad here to get some good hits on anybody, even though these are just little 10-point characters. And of course, the additional benefits to the blocking terrain is it's going to help keep your Wendigos protected as they start to move up. And once the fight really gets going, these guys can just come in and tear through your opponent's whole team. It gets pretty ridiculous. So I really like this team a lot. I will say, if you guys don't want to use Raven, there's one other character that I would suggest trying out. That's going to be the Zatanna from the Batman animated set at 50 points. So she's about as good in some ways, a little bit worse, a little bit better. You know, you got the pros and cons. I'll just take a quick look at her there. The main reason I like her is that she has a Justice League keyword and is less than 100 points. So since you have 5 Dr. Fates, you're going to get, like I said, 5 rolls of that JLU trait. So you could potentially take a token off of her every turn and give her the ability to be moving every turn. So just like Raven, she's going to have that Perplex and Probability control to support the team. She only has 3 clicks of life. She's a little bit less safe from range because she doesn't have the stealth to start with. But she does also have the Penetrating Blast. She has a little more range and a little more damage potential. But she can't carry the team. So it's kind of a give and take there. If you guys wanted to use her instead, she'd be almost as good. I prefer Raven. I think she brings a little bit more utility to the team. All right, so at the beginning, I did say this team has one big weakness, and you guys might be able to guess that big weakness is going to be Vulture, the Prime Vulture from Earth X. There's good odds that this team could lose to a Vulture team because if you guys don't know what that does, he basically can use charge, and if he KOs a character, then he can use charge again at no cost, and every time he KOs a character, he just racks up another charge. And they tend to equip him with the octopus arms from Earth X that'll give him giant reach and flurry. So you know, all he really has to do is get close enough to KO one character on your team, and he has the potential to just keep charging and flurrying on your whole entire team, potentially knocking them all out in one turn, as most likely he will be paired with a lot of Perplexers to up his attack and damage values a lot. So that is one potential big weakness. There is some hope, though, because like I said, this team has a huge theme team bonus, a plus 13, so you're almost guaranteed to win map. And of course, you're going to want, like I said, a map with tons of blocking terrain. So you do have that potential to slow him down a lot. If you put him on the right map with too much blocking terrain in the way, you know, they're not going to be able to use any telekinesis to get him anywhere. He's going to have a lot harder time, especially if it's indoor blocking terrain. He's going to have a lot harder time maneuvering through the map to get to your team. You know, he won't just be able to fly over everything. So you do have that potential to slow him down enough that you might be able to get to him first. That really just depends on how well you manage to play it out. Another potential weakness, however, is the Prime Batman. I've seen some Prime Batman teams going around that have pretty big theme teams as well, with a Justice League theme team. Again, because they're using like a ton of these little Dr. Fates on their team to get a huge map bonus. The opposite is true for that team though, because they're trying to get a huge map bonus to get a map with little to no blocking terrain, just huge and open spaces, because that Prime Batman does not need any type of range to make his attacks, just line of fire. So if you do lose map roll to a Prime Batman team, it might not go so well for you because he has the potential to see your entire team across the map and blast them all down. But vice versa, if you do win map, it's almost a guaranteed win because he won't be able to see through all the blocking terrain, and you can just be free to move up on him and move through all the blocking terrain, you know, potentially KOing half the team and just taking the win from there. So both of those matchups are big weaknesses for this team. You do have that potential. It's almost all in the map roll, really. If you don't win map, it could go very badly for you. But if you win map, it could just be an easy win. The state of the meta right now is very dependent on map, and this team is really no different. But I think it's pretty crazy what this team can do, and it's a lot of fun. But you guys, that's going to do it for this team build. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. What your overall thoughts are on the meta, how you think this team might perform. If you tried a team like this, I'd love to know how it went. Just feel free to have a whole discussion in the comments. But now this is the most expensive team I've ever built, clocking in at close to $400. Now I did get some help from a friend of mine putting this together because I really wanted to show you guys how crazy this team could potentially be. Now, I already talked a little bit about some of the weaknesses of the team, but one other thing I wanted to talk about was some of the strengths of it, being that one of the biggest things in the meta right now is still Black Widow. She's still tearing it up. And of course, she's usually paired with a couple of Captain Marvels at the 95 point line. So with them only having a +3 to map, you have a +13 to map. There's virtually no way they could win the map from you. I playtested this team against a Black Widow team a couple times, and it did do very well. So if you are worried about Black Widow, this team might help you out a little bit, and I hope it does. Let me know in the comments if it does. Alright you guys, so as always, if you like this team and like this video, please leave a like for me. I'd appreciate it. But I also wanted to use this opportunity to let you guys know I've got a bunch of awesome new content for you guys. Like I said, this team was super expensive to build, but I'm going to balance that out. I've got a budget team build video coming out soon that I think will be super fun for everybody. And I've got tons of other cool, different content for you guys to check out and see. So if you guys like any and all things Heroclix related, make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss a video. But that's going to do it for us today. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.